Hello everyone, this is Mathematics and we are here with the first section of the fourth chapter, Graphs and Transformations, and the name of the first section will be Cubic Graphs. Alright guys, so let's dive into the topic. First, we want to define what a cubic function is. Guys, okay, when I have a function f of x that has a formula, that has the equation, that has the expression of x, written as ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, where a, b, c, and d are members of the set of real numbers and a is not equal to 0, my f of x is called a cubic function, alright? So, I can sketch these cubic functions, alright? And for sketching a cubic function, you will need to mention 3 details on your sketch. First one, the coordinates of the x-intercepts. Second one, the coordinates of the y-intercepts, or rather y-intercept, it is only one. And the third one, the direction of the graph. These 3 are very important, guys, and they need to be mentioned in your graph. And the sketch of the cubic graphs are very important and they will be asked in your exam. So pay close attention and hope you will get whatever that is needed for your exam in this video. Alright, so guys, as for these, let me mention something. How do you find x-intercept? X-int means y is equal to 0. So just put y equal to 0 or f of x equal to 0 and then find the values of x. These are called the x-intercepts. Alright? Y-intercept. For y-intercept, you put x equal to 0, guys. Alright? And as for the direction of the graph, I mentioned earlier that my f of x would be ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, where a is not equal to 0. Alright, so I have 2 cases here. First case, let me draw a line here. Okay, now it's good. So, first case. My first case is where a is greater than 0. Guys, when a is greater than 0, the shape of your cubic graph will be NU. Alright? This part is, you can call this part N and this part U. So it is just easier to remember, right? And as for the second case, we know that a is not equal to 0, right? A is less than 0. So for a less than 0, the shape of your graph will be UN, alright? The shape of your graph, the direction of your graph, anything that you call it. For a greater than 0 or a being positive, it will be NU. And for your a being less than 0 or your a being negative, it will be UN. Alright, so this is soon for this example. Close your eyes. Do not look at this example, guys. Okay. So let's do example. And oh, by the way, I need to just tell you one more hint here. One more note. Let's have a look at the quadratics. Alright, how do we sketch quadratics? The same thing, right? For x-intercept, we put y equal to 0. For y-intercept, we put x equal to 0. Then we know the overall shape. It's either U or it's either N. And then we sketch the graph. Suppose that we have f of x being equal to x minus 3 squared, right? My x-intercept will be x minus 3 squared equal to 0, so x equal to 3. As for my y-intercept, y minus, 0 minus 3 squared is being equal to y, so y is going to be equal to 9. And my overall shape will be u. Why? Because the coefficient of x squared here is gonna be positive. So my overall shape will be my sketch. Say it is a more accurate term. Yx. It will be something like this. Here it is 9, here it is 3. Okay? So what do we see here, guys? Here at points 3 and 0, the graph of y equal to f of x. No. Why did I move this one? So the graph of y is equal to f of x. Will touch, pay attention guys, will touch the x-axis at the location of the repeated roots. What is the repeated root? 3. Why is it a repeated root? Because I have x minus 3 squared equal to 0. Alright? So that's it. When I have repeated roots, my graph will touch the x-axis at that point. And the same thing applies to the cubic functions, guys. Alright, so let me just write it down. When you have a repeated x-intercept or root for your cubic function, your function, or let's say your sketch, your graph touches the x-axis at the location of the repeated roots, right? So, and let me highlight this one, very important. So, let me just drag this one down. So, guys, we're gonna do example 2 of the textbook at page 59. So let me just write it down. It just wants us to sketch 3 curves, and we're gonna sketch all of them. So I'm not really with the option C because it is not really going to be in your exam, but still, we can sketch it. So example 2. The first curve, x minus 1 squared times x plus 1. Alright? X minus 1 squared times x plus 1. What do I want? Okay, first of all, x-intercepts. X-ints. For x-ints, I write x minus 1 squared times x plus 1 being equal to 0. So my x is going to be 1, my x is going to be 1 again, and my x is going to be minus 1, right? Because I can write this one as x minus 1 times x minus 1. Am I right? Okay, so no. So I have a repeated root here, guys. So I know that my graph, my sketch, is going to touch the x-axis at the point 1 and 0. Alright? So this is for this one. And for my y-int, which is the second detail that I want, I just write 0 minus 1 squared times 0 plus 1. Minus 1 squared, 1. 1 times 1 is going to be equal to 1. Alright? And as for the overall shape, what is the coefficient of x squared? Let's see. Here, x times x times x will be x squared. Times another x will be x cubed. The coefficient is 1, which is positive. So, my graph will be NU. So, my sketch. How will my sketch be? Let me draw the axis, y, x. So, 1 and minus 1 here and 1 here, and it's gonna intersect the y-axis at 0 and 1, right? And the shape is gonna be NU. So my graph will be something like this one, right? Not very bad, but it will just tell you the meaning, right? Oh, I really need to drag this one down. So this is for part A. For part B, I have y being equal to x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x. So, guys, the first thing that I see here is that x is the common factor here. So I can just write y as x times x squared minus 2x minus 3, right? Being equal to 0. So, can I factorize x squared minus 2x minus 3 any further? Well, let's see. I need to have a product and a sum, right? My product is going to be minus 3 and my sum is going to be minus 2. So what could those two numbers be? Of course, minus 3 and 1. So I'm just going to write it as, I'm going to write y being equal to x times x minus 3 times x plus 1 being equal to 0. So my x-intercepts will be x being equal to 0, x being equal to 3, and x being equal to minus 1. And guys, for this one, alright, my y int will be 0, or let's say y equal to 0. Why? Because when I put x equal to 0 here, 0 times everything will be, anything will be 0. So it will be just 0. So the thing that you need to pay attention about is that whenever you have a single x out of the brackets for a cubic function, then your y-intercept will also be 0. Why? Because when you put x equal to 0, for your y-intercept, it will be 0. And as for the overall shape, okay, let's go back to our original equation. X cube, okay, x cube, what is the coefficient of x cube? It is 1. Is 1 positive or negative? Positive, so it will be n u, right? So my sketch, not very nice, and it will be, okay, 0, minus 1, and 3. Minus 1, origin, and 3. And it also passes through y is equal to 0, so it will pass through the origin. Alright, so nu. Guys, whenever you have a single x here, because the y-intercept will be equal to 0 as well, then your graph will be passing through the origin. Alright, so just pay attention about that one. See, here it passes through the origin. Alright, the time of the video is going to be very long if I do example C, and it is not really going to be in your exams. So I'm just gonna do the exercise for a question 6 and save some of our time. It says the graph of y is equal to ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d is shown opposite, where a, b, c, and d are real constants. Find the values of a, b, c, and d. Guys, you see that I have a cubic graph here, alright? And I have the roots, I have the y-intercept. Okay, some people say that if I say my y is equal to x minus 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 1 equal to 0, being my cubic function, and then expand it, I can find the values of x cubed, and x and a is going to be 1, b is going to be equal to something, c is going to be equal to something, and c is going to be equal to minus 6. I can see it from here, right? Minus 2, minus 3, I'm sorry, d is going to be 6, and this is stuff. But the thing is that, guys, this is not the correct way of doing it, alright? This is just not the correct way of doing it. Why? Because you see this y-intercept, right? Okay, let me put this in the calculation. So the thing is, if I put 0 here, the value of y must be 2. Is it going to be 2? Let's see. 0 minus 2, minus 2. 0 minus 3, it will be minus 3. And 0 plus 1, 1. Minus 2 times minus 3, oh no, it's going to be 6, not 2. So what am I going to do? Very important. You are going to write y is going to be equal to a times x minus 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. You have a coefficient. Okay. And this will also be your a in this real question. So do not worry about the thing that the variables should have a different name. You can have the different name. But in this case, using a will not be a real problem. If this is bothering you, then you can use a v, or you can use e. Doesn't matter. I just use a. Alright? Or you can also use a k. K is a very good symbol. But I just use a. So let's say that now it passes through 0 and 2. So when I just replace x with a 0, it's going to be a times 0 minus 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 1 being equal to 2, alright? So I can find my a. I have only one variable. It's going to be minus 2 times minus 3 times 1, which is going to be 6a being equal to 2. So a is going to be equal to 1 over 3. And then I'm going to write my y being equal to 1 over 3 times x minus 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 1. Now, if I just expand this one, for which I need to do it here, this will be minus 5x plus 6 times x plus 1. And this is going to be x cubed plus, not plus, minus x squared times 1, x squared minus 5x times this one, minus 4x squared. Okay, so, and here I have 6x. Okay, it will be x, and this one will be 6. Okay, now I have to multiply this one by 1 over 3. So it will be 1 over 3. So my y will be equal to 1 over 3 x cubed minus 4 over 3 x squared plus 1 over 3 x plus 2. And let me just erase all of these and bring this one there. So you can just write a equal to 1 over 3, b equal to minus 4 over 3, c equal to 1 over 3, and your d being equal to 2. And that's all, guys. This is whatever that you needed to know for the cubic functions and for the cubic functions section. And these are just very important, and you need to know them for your exam. And in the next session, we'll have the sketch of the reciprocal graphs and then some transformations, and this will be all for this chapter. Hope this session was useful for you, and see you all guys for the next session.